Hi, I'm Joel Brooks, owner of Moments in Time Video Productions and a Macro System Americas dealer. Today I will demonstrate the brand new 3D World for Bogart Windows, an excellent new exciting program with lots of possibilities. And as you can see, I already have it activated here in my brand new Travel Pro 2 laptop editor, which is blazing fast and I really like it. Now, that being said, I'm going to start by going to the edit menu, and I have 10 clips I've already pre-ingested into the scene bin. And the first clip I'm going to choose is this one right here. I'm going to drag that to the storyboard for clip 1, and then I will choose a second scene and I will drag it and put it right here next to it, so we have 2 scenes in the storyboard to work with. Next, I will go using the shortcut here in Bogart, transitions. Now I will locate the actual transitions. There they are. 3D World Tiles 1 is what I'm going to demonstrate first. So you have a number of options over here to adjust, such as the horizontal and vertical tiles, the number of tiles. And that's a great feature there. And you can also adjust and change the background. And when you select that, it pulls up the familiar media pool. If you've worked with Bogart for some time, you will recognize many of these features and add-on programs that you can mix and match with as far as imaging. So that's a very neat feature. And then of course you can rotate the image in different directions. And you can also change the lighting. But first, before we do that, let's actually insert the effect by adding or dragging between the 2 clips. And I have it set for the default of 1 second transition. And you can change that, of course. Okay, now let's go back to the scene bin and select 2 more clips. So I will select this one and the clarity. And let's go back to transitions and select video block 2, another 3D transition in this tremendous a 3-dimensional program. So let's go ahead and add this transition up here, and we can choose the axis X, Y, and Z in multiple combinations of this. And for example, let's do the Y and do a preview. And let's play it back full screen. Very nice. So now we can adjust the lighting. And as I was mentioning earlier, to do this, now right now the lighting is off, but you can turn it on and see the light right there. It lit up right there for a nice glow effect. And of course you can fade this in or out, and of course change the position of the light where you want it to start and to hover at. And all this information here, you can change the Y and the Z axis of the actual light angle itself. And that's a very nice feature. And of course you can control your surface colors. You can change the colors of the light, RGB, and then you can change the size of the light points as well as the background. You can also light up the background like behind it. That's really nice feature there. And you can change the ambiency of it. Again, the colors, RGB, and any color you want in the rainbow. And then you can change the diffusing colors, and it's a really nice effect. And you can really tweak the color and you customize it to anything you so wish. Okay, now let's go back to the edit menu and let's choose a couple of more scenes. I'm going to choose the raindrops, and then we'll go to the cloud. These 2 here. Okay, back to transitions, and this time choose video block 3. And the main differences in this one is, of course, let's make this default to 1 second. In addition to the Y and Z axis, you have the background. And again, you can choose any type of background. And of course, these are the Animex1 backs. But again, the familiar media pool, you can choose any image you want for the background. And it's very nice. You can just choose all sorts of things. And I love the Animex images, and we'll leave it this one for this demonstration and say okay, and let's preview. And let's play it back full screen. Before we go to image processing, go back to the scene bin. Let's create a brand new scene. I want just a black scene for this next background, for this next demonstration. Let's create that real quick. And take this 10-second black clip and we'll put it in the storyboard. Now go to image processing, and we'll look what we have here. Some very nice additional 3D effects for image processing. Let's start with a globe, and we'll put that up here in the storyboard. And you can choose with borders, without borders, with cities, etc. Let's do with cities. And then we can also create a start point. And we can adjust the x-axis, the y, and of course the archives that we can load, save, or delete, as we've had for every program in Bogart since back in the day. And then of course the rotation X can be short, long, up, or down, and the Y can be short, long, up, and down, and so forth. So we'll leave those to default short, and then you can choose to start with the distance to be closer or farther away, and we'll leave it default of 16. And then you can adjust the still stand mode to be at, let's go for like 2 seconds. Say OK, and then I'm going to render this. Okay, let's play it back full screen. Okay, now let's move along to the 3D World text. Now this is a very powerful tool. In addition to the Bogart titler programs, we now have three-dimensional control over our titling and text. So this is very similar to the Deluxe 3D titler we had a few years ago with Bogart, and now we have this for Bogart Windows, a much more advanced and enhanced version. So you can change the design text, and I'm going to change this to macro. I'm going to change this to macro system US, since we are in the US. And then we can change the font. We can also choose, I like to bold for this, and then you can also use the pattern, which we have for default for red, but you could also change it to a scene. Let's say you want that instead of the red, we could have it actually a scene face, and we could actually take those clouds from the scene bin image and say OK, and then what will happen is that will actually put those clouds on top of that font. So that's very nice, and you could preview that. And then of course you can adjust the size. We could bring the font down to about 110. Say OK. Very nice 3D text. Okay, now you could also of course change the lighting on it. As we've mentioned earlier, this has the same attribute control as in the transition menu that I showed you earlier in this video. So it's very nice. You can change the position of the lighting, the colors. It's just a lot you can do with the lighting of it. It looks really nice, kind of more of a backlight there that looks really cool. Let's move on to the next feature. You have the 3D World Text Flight. Now this actually creates animation and movement. And of course now we have control over the axis, the X, Y, and Z axis. And so you can design your text. Again, we can say macro system US, and then we could change all these other dimensions again. For time's sake, I won't go into that again, but change the stand time to about a second. And let's make some movement. We could let's come up. Okay, for the last part of this demonstration, let's create another empty scene, and I'm going to go to, this time instead of black, let's go to pattern, and then I'm going to select from the media pool, actually right there. Yes, let's do this one right here. 10 seconds. That'll create very quickly, and then we'll place this image background in the storyboard and then go back to image processing, and then we will select 3D World Video Block 1 and then begin to add. Of course, we need to put this in the storyboard. There it is. Now let's begin to build the videos for all the sections of this rotating cube. So scene 1 can be this image right there, and then the image 2, let's select this one right here. Image 3, another vehicle right there. And for the image 4, let's select this nice sliding wide shot of the dealership, and say OK. And I'm going, of course, you can select the movement, the direction, be left from right to left, and then rotate. It'll rotate out to the spinning to the right, and then you can have it still stand for 5 seconds, which I want to leave it to the max, 5 seconds. And then of course you can change your color and of course the lighting again, which is the same function as before with the global, position, surface, ambient, and diffuse, and all those major adjustments.